So I repeat, the Code of Ethics for Professional Teachers. So pursuant to the provisions of the Republic Act 7836 or the Philippine Teachers Professional Act of 1994, doon po nakapaloob itong Code of Ethics for Professional Teachers. As part na rin siya ng Magna Carta for public school teachers. So, the preamble of this Code of Ethics says, teachers are duly licensed professionals who possesses dignity and reputation with high moral values, as well as technical and professional competence in the practice of their noble profession, which is teaching. And they strictly adhere to, observe, and practice the set of ethical and moral principles, standards, and values. So, yun yung preamble ng Code of Ethics. So, meaning, teachers can embody the different principles outlined in the preamble by maintaining dignity and reputation, what else, upholding high moral values, and demonstrating technical and professional competence in the daily practice of teaching. Like, for example, si Mrs. Cruz, for example, she is a vocational education teacher. She continually, for example, updates her skills and knowledge by attending workshops, seminars, and pinupursue niya ang further education niya, advancement of her career qualifications. So, meaning, she integrates the latest updates, okay, the latest standards in the education industry. Ano pa ba? Yung mga latest technology ni-integrate niya into the teaching and learning process sa curriculum. So in that case, she is providing a student with high quality instruction. So that gesture of Mrs. Cruz shows or demonstrate technical and professional competence. Okay? Yun yung one example. Another one, for example, si Mr. Reyes, he's an elementary school teacher. He is known for fairness, integrity in the school. Okay? So, meaning he ensures that all students are treated equally, regardless of their background, regardless of their ability. So, in that case, Mr. Reyes exemplifies high moral values. What else? When a student, for example, confides in him or in a teacher about a personal issue, so that teacher, if that teacher handles the situation with confidentiality, with compassion, providing support while maintaining the professional boundaries, then therefore, that action of a particular teacher exemplifies high moral values. Okay? And of course, pag sinabing high moral values, that should be, yun dapat ang expect sa mga teachers to uphold. So, yun yung sinasabi ng preamble. Naka-indicate lahat dito. Okay? So, let's start with the first section. Article, rather. So, in the first article, the scope and limitations, it consists of two sections. It defines the scope of the Code of Ethics. In-specify niya kung who it applies to rather than outlining specific behaviors. So, therefore, in Article 1, it's not about providing examples of good or bad conduct, but rather clarifying who is bound by the code. Sino-sino ba ang dapat mag-observe Okay? Sa Code of Ethics na yan. So, it is crucial to understand that in this article, scope and limitation, nandito yung mga specific rules and expectation to every individual and institution involved. Okay? Like sa Section 1, the Philippine Constitution provides that all educational institutions shall offer quality education. Quality education for all competent teachers. Committed to its full realization, the provision of this code shall apply, therefore, to all teachers in the school or in schools in the Philippines. So, lahat ng teachers. Okay? All teachers. Kasi, ini-emphasize dito na it is a mandate of the Constitution. Okay? For quality education delivered by competent teachers. Okay? Delivered by competent teachers. So, may it be a teacher from a remote barangay, a private school teacher, okay? So, lahat, to all teachers in schools in the Philippines. Section 2, this code covers all public and private school teachers. O, mas na-specify na dito. Mas inclusive siya. I mean, nandito yung inclusivity of the code. So, public and private school teachers in all educational institutions at the preschool level, primary, elementary, preschool yung mga nursery, kindergarten, primary, grade 1 to 3, elementary, 4 to 6, secondary level, 7 to 12, whether academic, vocational, special, technical, or non-formal. The term teacher shall include industrial arts or vocational teachers and all other persons performing supervisory and or administrative functions in all school at the aforesaid levels, whether on full-time or part-time basis. Okay? So, public elementary school teacher, so yung full-time teacher in Department of Education School. Okay? Public high school teacher. What else? Public vocational school administrators. Ano pa? Part-time SPED teacher. Okay? Sila yung coverage ng code. So, dito sa Code of Ethics, hindi na-mention ang tertiary level. Diba? Walang na-mention yung mga instructors, professors. Primarily because, di ba na-separate naman ang CHED sa DepEd. So, meron din silang ibang policy. Meron din silang ibang set of principles na pinafollow. Okay? Yan yung sa tertiary. Kaya ang na-mention lang dito is primary, preschool, elementary, and secondary levels. Gets? Okay, next. Article 2. The teacher and the state. Okay, si teacher and state. Section 1. The schools are the nurseries of the future citizens of the state. Each teacher is a trustee of the cultural and educational heritage of the nation and is under obligation to transmit to learners such heritage, as well as to elevate national morality, promote national pride, cultivate love of country, instill allegiance to the Constitution, and for all duly constituted authorities and promote obedience to the laws of the state. So yan yung section 1. It's all about cultural and educational heritage na kailangan nating ituro. Okay? Halimbawa, cultural lessons. Dapat si teacher, in-incorporate niya ang Filipino history, culture, tradition natin into the curriculum to instill national pride and cultural awareness among our students. Okay? Yun ang role natin sa state. What else? Patriotic activities, patriotism. Sila teacher dapat mag-organize sila ng mga activities such as kaya meron tayong flag ceremony every morning. What else? Independence Day celebrations and other events because these events promote love of country. And allegiance to the Constitution. Kaya sinabi dito. Okay? So, what else? In some other, during the classroom discussion, yung mga ethical discussions natin, like, if the teacher engages in, or the students in the discussions about national morality, yung about ethics, the importance of obeying laws of the land, of teaching the students the Constitution. Okay? In this case, we are helping, we teachers are helping to elevate moral standards. Kasi yun yung sinasabi ng Section 1. Okay? Moral standards. So, ibig sabihin yan, if you ignore this part of Section 1, let's say if you ignore heritage, if you neglect to teach the student about Filipino culture or history, if you, what else? If you encourage students to disobey laws, disrespect the Constitution, then these are negative examples na hindi dapat i-action ni teacher. Okay? Or maging action ni teacher. Okay? Yan ang ibig sabihin ng Section 1. What else? Ano pa ba? Ang nakalagay dito, cultivate love of country. So, primarily, ang role natin as teachers is to transmit. Okay? Transmitters of culture and natural morality. Okay? So, very important talaga yan. Hindi yung in-encourage mo yung mga bata na to tawag doon, patronize yung mga branded products. Diba? Yung mga ano pa ba, yung galing China o galing ibang country. Okay? So, we should be transmitters of culture and national morality. Yun yung sinasabi ng Section 1 of the Article 2. Okay? Section 2. Every teacher or school official shall actively help carry out the declared policies of the state and shall take an oath to this effect. Kasi nga, di ba, lagi nila sinasabi, mga teachers, laging handa yan, sila ang inaasahan. Okay? So, in Section 2, it's all about the declared policies of the state. Okay? Declared policies of the state. For example, yung mga policies sa education, tayo dapat ang magturo para maintindihan ng mga bata ang kanilang role. Okay? Role sa country, role as future citizens. Okay? Community involvement. Okay? Actively carry out. So, si teacher, dapat lagi nagpa-participate in community outreach program. Okay? That supports yung mga state policies such as, ano pa ang example? Such as environmental conservation, yung mga public health awareness, public health initiatives. Okay? Kasi ito lahat ay programs that align with the policies of the state. Okay? Policies of the state. Hindi yung nag-oppose tayo lagi, kinikriticize natin yung state policies in the classroom, diba? na nagki-create na ng confusion sa mga or confusion and dissent among our students. Diba? Hindi yung tayo ang nangunguna as teachers na kumukontra sa state policies. We call that policy opposition. Okay? And of course, non-participation. Diba? Lagi ko namang sinasabi na tayo dapat ang nangunguna sa mga activities sa community. Diba? So, if the teacher refuses to participate in school, community programs that support state policies, then the teacher is setting poor example for students. Hindi na siya naka-align. Okay? So, it's all about upholding the state policies or the different policies of the country. Okay? Pero dapat siyempre si teacher, lagi siyang informed kung ano ang current educational policies. Hindi yung siya yung laging huli na nakakaalam. Yung, meron na ba? Meron na bang bagong curriculum? Okay? So the teacher stays informed about current educational policies. And then, in-incorporate natin ito sa ating teaching practices. Okay? So, yun dapat. Hindi yung nag-refuse tayo to participate in school-wide programs, what else. Basta related siya about national policy. Okay? That is section 2 of Article 2. Next is Article 3. Article 2 pa din. Section 3, kasi 5 pala ang 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 sections pala. In the interest of the state and of the Filipino people as much as of his own, every teacher shall be physically, mentally, and morally fit. So, dapat si teacher ay morally fit. Itong section 3, it discusses about physical, mental, and moral fitness ni teacher sa state. Like, ano bang example nito? We should show or maintain a healthy lifestyle. Okay? Dapat si teacher din may regular exercise, mayroong balanced diet, di ba? To ensure physical fitness. And aside from that, aside from healthy lifestyle, mental well-being. So dapat si teacher din, he or she practices self-care. Okay? And if kailangan niyang mag-seek ng professional help to maintain mental health and well-being, dapat gawin niya. Okay? Hindi yung ma-stress ka na lang, mababaliw ka na lang, basta hinahayaan mo na lang na nagsisira ang mental well-being mo, di ba? Aside from that, ito, morally fit. Dapat the teacher adheres to high moral standards. Kagaya ng sinabi sa preamble kanina, it's all about ethical conduct. Okay? Ethical conduct. So, we need to adhere to high moral standards, demonstrating integrity and ethical behavior in all professional interactions. Kaya ang hirap maging teacher kasi lagi kang nasa spotlight. Diba? Laging may CCTV. Lahat na lang nagawing action ni teacher, may comment, ganito, sasabihin, naku, teacher pa naman siya. Kasi parang ang laking responsibility ng pagiging teacher. So, meaning, if you neglect your health, if you neglect mental health issues, and show unethical behavior, then you are not following the code of ethics. Okay? You are not following the code of ethics. Next, section 4. Every teacher shall possess and actualize a full commitment and devotion to duty. Okay. So, pag naging teacher ka, dapat committed ka. Kaya 'di ba sabi nila walang yumayaman na teacher. Pag nakita mo yung mga teachers sa atin, ako para kasing napaka rewarding kasi ang pagiging teachers niya. Sabi ko kasi I've been in the teaching profession for more than 2 decades. More than 20 years. So, minsan kasi kahit wala kang kapera-pera, kahit walang-wala ka, hindi mo pinoproblema kasi mas iniisip mo yung naintindihan ba ng mga bata yung lesson namin kanina? Naturuan ko ba sila ng maayos? This is very true. You will feel a sense of yung fulfillment ba, napaka-rewarding. Na kahit walang-wala ka na, kailangan mo pa rin mag-provide, bumili ka ng instructional materials, kailangan mong maghanap ng way para lang mapaganda mo ang pagtuturo. Diba sa atin, gumagastos sila sa mga instructional aid nila kasi gusto lang nilang mas madaling maintindihan, mas maganda ang experiences, learning experiences ng mga estudyante. Kasi parang iisipin mo lang yung mga estudyante, parang nag-aano ka na parang naroon ka ng relief. Diba? Kung let's say today, naintindihan nila yung lesson na ang hirap intindihin, it's already fulfilling. Okay? So not only that, when we speak about commitment and devotion to duty, one example is punctuality. Dapat si teacher, consistent dapat siya. Consistently arrives on time, and dapat, ano pa ba hindi lang naman yun ang punctuality. What else? Dapat prepared siya lagi sa klase. Kahit naman ang aga-aga mo, kung hindi ka naman prepared, yung nakatulala ka naman doon, nakatunghan. That's not punctuality. Okay? If the teacher consistently arrives on time and he is prepared for the class, he or she is demonstrating commitment to duty. Okay? Commitment to their duties. That's punctuality. Ano pa ba? Extra effort. Okay? Alam niyo, ang mga teachers, we always go beyond and above the regular duties. Diba? Yung ibang profession, pag umuwi na sila sa bahay alas 5, tapos na. Hindi sila nag-uuwi ng mga trabaho. Pero si teacher, nag-uuwi pa din siya. Extra effort pa din. Dala-dala niya ang mga trabaho niya sa bahay. Okay? What else? Aside from that, ano pa ba ang extra effort? Ang mga teachers, we offer extra help to struggling students. What else? Pag may mga activities sa school, we offer ourselves participating in different school events. Diba? That's going beyond extra mile, extra effort. Kasi kasama yan sa full commitment and devotion to duty. Okay? So, if you lack preparation, okay, kung madamot ka, nagbibigay ka lang ng minimal effort, like the teacher does the bare minimum required. Let's say, hanggang lang tayo, 6 hours lang ang pagtuturo, and ayoko na magturo kasi tapos na yung, diba? Kung nag-refuse ka sa mga special extra task na ganun. Okay? So that's about section 4 in Article 2, the teacher and the state. Okay? Actualize a full commitment and devotion to duty. Next, section 5. Ito. Very important ito. A teacher shall not engage in the promotion of any political, what else, religious, and other partisan interests, and shall not, take note, shall not directly or indirectly solicit, require, collect, or receive any money or service or other valuable material from any person or entity for such purposes. Haba. So, in section 5, in short, this is about political, religious, or partisan interests. Okay? Partisan interests. Pero hindi naman ibig sabihin na hindi na tayo makipag-participate sa any political, religious, and other partisan interests. Okay? Instead, we should maintain a neutral stance. Neutral lang dapat tayo. The teacher maintains a neutral stand or stance on a political, religious, and partisan issues, ensuring, of course, that our classroom remains an inclusive and unbiased environment. Pag nag-discuss ka halimbawa, especially sa inyo, marami sa inyo magiging social studies teacher. Yan, pagdating ng election, i-discuss mo yung mga senatoriables, for example. So, pwede mong i-discuss mo yung pros and cons, yung mga ginawa nila, yung mga experiences, platforms nila. Pero hanggang ka lang, neutral. Huwag mong sabihin na, eto hindi, huwag niyong iboto ito. Huwag niyong iboto ito. Kasi ito, magnanakaw ito, ganito. No, hindi tayo pwedeng magsabi ng ganun. You can lay the qualifications, the platforms, but leave the decisions to your student. Okay? Kasi kailangan din i-discuss natin yan sa klase natin, di ba? So, in short, we need to ensure that the classroom remains an inclusive and unbiased environment. Now, may karapatan din naman tayong mamili ng ating iboboto. Yes, that's very true. Pwede kang mag-post sa Facebook mo na, I vote for BBM. I am for Leni Robredo. Pwede yun. Huwag lang yung mag-encourage ka, ay mag-promote, kumbaga. Like, vote for BBM, do not vote for, yun yung hindi pwede. Okay? Yun yung hindi pwede. What else? Respecting belief. Kasama din dito. Like, the teacher respects the diverse belief and opinions of your students. Pag ni-discuss mo nga yung about ito. Huwag mong i-discourage, kumbaga. Okay? Kung ano yung paniniwala niya, respeto mo. Kasi may respeto din nila kung anong paniniwala mo as a teacher. Okay? Basta huwag tayong mag-promote. So, kasi very clear naman dito, shall not engage in the promotion. Even religious. Okay? Huwag mong i-promote yung religion mo sa klase. Respect the others then. Okay? You can tell your students, ganito ang religion ko para ma-respeto ka din nila. But, of course, kung ano din ang paniniwala nila, you need to respect also. So, that is respecting belief. Okay? Kasi, bakit hindi tayo pwedeng mag-engage in the promotion? Kasi, ang focus natin as teachers is sa education. Diba? The teacher focuses on educational content. And, therefore, we should avoid using our position to promote any personal, political, or religious views. Focus tayo sa education. Okay? Nag-guess niyo yung point? Kaya tingnan nyo, walang mga teacher na nagpo-post sa Facebook na vote for ganito. Diba? Unless professor siya sa college kasi hindi naman sila party sa code of ethics. Pero, meron na ba kayo nakita na public school teacher or private school teacher na gano'n nagpo-promote? Wala. Kasi, that's a ground for the revocation of your license. Or masususpend yung certificate of teaching mo if in case. Diba? So, in section 5, mga negative examples dito, yun nga, in political promotion, nagpo-promote tayo ng specific party, specific candidate, na nai-influensyahan mo na yung political views ng mga estudyante, yung belief ng mga estudyante. What else? Yung religious indoctrination. Okay? Religious indoctrination na pinopromote mo na. Okay? Unless siguro, yung klase mo, lahat, Muslim. Walang problema. You promote. Pero kung may iba-iba, neutral lang. mag-focus ka sa educational side. Okay? Hindi tayo mag-i-impose. Okay? So, kung nag-i-impose tayo ng religious belief on students, nagiging bias tayo sa iba. Nagiging exclusive. Hindi na siya inclusive. And then, dito, sa last part, shall not directly or indirectly, hindi tayo dapat nagsosolicit ng donations. Okay? The teachers, kung si teacher ay nagsosolicit ng money, services from student, parents, take note for political or religious causes, ayun, na-violate natin ang professional ethics. Pero iba naman yung sinosolicit natin para sa brigada eskwela, okay? Eh kung magbigay si mayor, that's fine kasi it's their responsibility. Kasi, tawag doon, part ka ng bayan. So, dapat bigyan ka na ng para sa eskwelahan. Pero kung magbibigay siya na may kapalit, na let's say eto nga, yung for political or let's say religious causes, then you are violating the professional ethics. Nakuha nyo yung section 5 na examples natin. Section 5 is about no promotion of partisan interests. Next, let's proceed to section 5. Next section 6. Yes. Section 6. Okay. We are still in Article 2. So, Section 6. Every teacher shall vote, katuloy nun, shall vote and shall exercise all other constitutional rights and responsibilities. Okay? So, meron din naman tayong constitutional right and responsibilities. Ibig sabihin, we participate. We actuate our rights of suffrage. Diba? So, we should actively participate in elections and encourage students to understand the importance of voting, the importance of participating in election. Hanggang doon lang, diba? So, we encourage them to vote, but we should not mandate them to vote for a particular candidate. Okay? That's section 6. Kasi si teacher, role model dapat siya. So, the teacher serves as a role model by exercising we need to exercise our constitutional rights responsibly and encouraging students to do the same para maging responsible din yung mga estudyante natin. Okay? What else? Aside from that, okay, next. Section 7. Continue pa rin ito. A teacher shall not use his position or official authority or influence to coerce any other person to follow any political course or action. Yun na, sinasabi ko. Hindi natin dapat gamitin kasi nga, ang taas ng tingin kasi sa mga teachers. Kaya minsan, kung ano ang choice ni teacher, yun din ang choice ng iba. Pero, hindi natin dapat gamitin ang ating position or authority to influence, to coerce your students to follow kung ano ang tawag doon, kung ano ang kinakampan, kung ano yung pinaniniwalaan yun, diba yun? Kung anong team ka nabibilang, kumbaga. Okay? So, in Section 7, this is all about coercion in political actions. Not only political actions. So, meaning, we need to respect choices from our students din. Siyempre, sabi natin, sir, hindi pa naman bumoboto ang mga high school. Pag nag-senior high school kasi, may mga, di ba 18, bumoboto na yun. Ang senior high school, 18, 19, 20 ang ages nila. Okay? Or, syempre, if you discuss that with your students, i-discuss din nila yan sa mga magulang nila. Diba? So, in Section 7, we need to respect choices. as teachers, we should respect the political choices of students, okay, of our colleagues. Kasi we need to foster an environment kasi na yung bang may free of expression, may diversity of thought, di ba? Eh kung gusto niyang iboto si Duterte, you need to respect. Huwag mong pagtawanan, huwag mong i-judge, kumbaga. Okay? We need to practice impartiality din. Okay? We should remain impartial in political discussions, especially pag nag-discuss kayo sa classroom. Impartiality means allowing students to form their own opinions without you influencing them. Okay? Minsan, we encourage debate sa classroom. Okay? We encourage debate, but it should be a healthy and respectful political debate among your students. Kasi you need to help them develop critical thinking. Okay? Pero kung sabihin na, mas maganda ang point nitong kabila, dito, mas okay. So, doon, yun na dapat ang iboto nyo. Hindi pwedeng ganun. Okay? So, nag-gets nyo ang Section 7, ha? This is about coercion in political actions. This include also bias ni teacher. Okay? When we say biases, pag nagdini-discuss mo kasi ang political views sa classroom, yung nagiging bias ka, kumbaga, magiging obvious na may pinapanigan ka. Diba? Na, huwag ka dito kasi ito, alam nyo kasi kung magnanakaw, ganito kapatid ng magnanakaw, si ganito, diba? So, we should also refrain from showing biases. Okay? Next, Section 8. Every teacher shall enjoy academic freedom and shall have privilege of expounding the product of his researches and investigations, provided that if the results are inimical to the declared policies of the state, they shall be brought to proper authorities for appropriate remedial action. Diba? Sabi kasi kanina, we should be tawag doon yung sa mga declared policies of the state, tayo dapat ang mag-initiate sa pag-promote. Okay? So, in Section 8, it's all about academic freedom and research na meron si teacher. Okay? Na enjoy niya ang kanyang academic freedom. Like, we encourage our students to engage in research, critical inquiry. What else para ma-foster natin ang culture of academic freedom and intellectual growth? That's research opportunities. Okay? What else? We should share our findings. Okay? Sharing our findings. Let's say kung nag-research tayo, we share the results. Especially kung okay ang, let's say nag-research ka, nakita mo yung maganda pala itong isang strategy na ito para sa mga high school mathematics students, for students in mathematics. We need to share. Okay? Like, maganda tong nagawa kong strategy. Effective sa mga bata. Yan. I-share mo para magamit din ng iba. Okay? Or any product of your research and investigations with students. Kasi in that case, you are promoting a culture of knowledge and discovery na nakapaloob dito sa Section 8. Okay? Hindi dapat yung si teacher sinusuppress niya ang mga findings, yung ina-alter mo yung mga research findings that are contrary to your belief. Diba? Kung hindi naaayon sa paniniwala mo, binabago mo na yung findings. Diba? Or you are now ignoring the policies. Okay? Kasi, alimbawa, if you fail to report yung mga findings mo sa research, kung nag-research ka, you are neglecting your professional responsibility. Especially kung it is siya sa declared policies of the state. Kung against siya, kumbaga. Okay? So, That's Article 2 consists of 8 sections. If you have questions, just raise your hand or just message in chat. Okay, kung may mga gusto kayo i-clear. Kasi, di ba, sa exams kasi, or dito, mismo sa Code of Ethics, minsan, hindi mo alam kasi kung, sir, okay ba ito? Sir, violation ba itong ginagawa ni teacher? Ganito, ganyan, sa Code of Ethics. Okay? Kaya as much as possible, in-explain natin siya. So, let's proceed to Article 3. Sa Article 3 naman, it speaks about the teacher and the community. So, paano naman magbe-behave si teacher sa community? Okay, kanina sa state and sa community. Section 1. Si teacher is a facilitator of learning and of development of the youth. He shall therefore render the best service by providing an environment conducive to such learning and so we should create a safe learning environment for our student. Yung welcoming na klase mo dapat, yung walang natatakot na estudyante na mag-express sa kanyang sarili, conducive to learning, yung inaayos mo yung classroom mo, ino-organize mo, yung para maganda ang pagpa-facilitate ng klase. Para maganda ang interaction and engagement ng estudyante. Okay? What else? Aside from that, engaging lessons. Dapat nagpe-prepare tayo, we design, we implement engaging and interactive lessons. Okay? Kasi depende naman yan ulit sa needs ng mga estudyante. So, we should always encourage participation among our students. Especially ngayon, hindi na lang participation, kundi critical thinking. Yung mag-iisip talaga sila, mas malalim na pag-isip. Like, instead of asking what, where, doon sa recitation nyo or discussion, why not try asking how? Why? Kasi in that case, mas malalim yung pag-iisip nila. They will use critical thinking. Okay? So, that's section 1. Being a facilitator of learning and development, dapat magbigay tayo ng safe learning environment, conducive environment for learning and growth. Yung supportive atmosphere, kung nabigyan ka ng advisory class mo, dapat supportive ka sa mga estudyante mo. And in that case, dapat they will feel comfortable in expressing their ideas, asking questions during discussion. In that case, you are promoting, what they call this, a good atmosphere. You are promoting a welcoming environment. Okay? Hindi yung pag namali yung bata, pinapahiya mo sa klase, di ba? Yung classroom mo disorganized. Yon. Section 1. Okay? Section 2. Every teacher shall provide leadership and initiative to actively participate in community movements. So, parang din yung sinabi kanina. Di ba? Leadership and community participation for moral, social, educational, economic, and civic betterment. Yung hindi tayo dapat madamot sa time. Okay? Like, ano ba? Kasi we are discussing teacher and the community. So, si teacher dapat should take initiative to organize and lead community projects like clean up drive, okay? Or kung ano, para naman hindi isipin ni Kapitan na nauungusan mo siya, you coordinate with the barangay officials. Okay? Kasi hindi ka naman pwede maging barangay official kasi double bawal yun. Kasi government, kung public school teacher ka, tapos government official ka pa, hindi pwede. Okay? When I was 21 years old, naging barangay captain din ako sa amin, sa Ilocos. So, you see, kasi noong 15 years old ako, SK chairman hanggang 20 years old. Tapos dumiretso ako sa pagiging barangay captain kahit napakabata ko pa noon. Kasi maganda kasing mag-serve. Ang dami kong pinopromote, kahit nag-aaral pa lang ako noon. Ayan, volunteer work, advocacy, community projects. Pero naging teacher ako, syempre 21, graduate ko lang yan noon. Buti na lang, sa private school ako nagturo. Okay? Although bawal pa din naman, kaya lang, nakiusap na lang ako na yung salary ko naman being a barangay captain, dinidivide ko naman to my barangay officials and the barangay tanod. Kasi, wala naman ako the whole week sa barangay. Sa weekend lang ako nandun din. Meeting. Pero pag may mga emergency naman, umuwi ako sa barangay. Okay? Kasi ayaw din naman nilang mag-resign ako or, diba? So, ayun. Okay naman. Just to lead, just to guide the barangay. So, we should take initiative. Okay? Initiative to organize any community projects like yung mga clean-up drive. Ako noon, magaling kasi akong yung sports activities sa mga kabataan. Okay? What else? Literacy program. Kasi lahat ng ito, it will contribute to the betterment of the community. Okay? What else? Volunteer work. Diyan tayo magaling as teacher. We should actively volunteer in local organization and events. Like especially sa mga social events, civic betterment. Nagvo-volunteer dapat tayo, especially kung kasi talagang iniisip naman nila na ang mga teachers talaga inaasahan yan. Okay? But of course, meron tayong advocacy. Yun yung educational and social reforms. Diba? Sabi kanina, mag-focus tayo sa education. That benefit the community. Okay? So, in this case, we can use our position to influence positive change. Hindi yung influence any political views or, di ba? Dito naman, because we are advocating for education, doon tayo, we are in a position to influence others when it regards to education naman. Basta, it can create positive change sa community. Pwede yun. Okay? So, kung wala kang if you have lack of involvement, then you are not practicing the code of ethics. Kasi dapat, sabi ng Section 2, kailangan mong mag-initiate. Next, Section 3. Every teacher shall merit reasonable social recognition for which purpose he shall behave with honor and dignity at all times. Take note ito. Refrain from such activities as gambling, smoking, drunkenness, and other excesses. Take note ha, excesses. Much less illicit relations. So in Section 3 of Article 3, the teacher and community, kasi this is about honor and dignity. Nakikita ka kasi sa komunidad. Ikaw kasi ang model doon. Kaya ang hirap, di ba? Kaya sabi ko kanina, konting kembot mo doon sa community, chismis, marites, di ba? So, in Section 3, syempre, you need to show professional conduct. Okay? Professional conduct. That we teachers should consistently behave with honor and integrity, both in and out of the classroom. Kasi nga, community. Kasi si teacher, dapat he or she set a positive example for students and the community also. Okay? So, kanina nasabi natin about healthy lifestyle. Siyempre, kasi model ka ng mga estudyante. Di ba? Dapat maganda rin ang healthy lifestyle mo. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng healthy lifestyle? Avoiding activities, such as gambling, smoking, excessive drinking. Take note ha, excessive drinking. So, pwede na lang uminom si teacher. Kasi kailangan din naman ng katawan ng alcohol. Pero wag lang excess. Wag lang yung sobra. Okay? Or, as much as possible, hindi ka dapat nakikita naman sa community na nakikipag inuman ka sa kalsada, sa eskinita. Diba? Tapos nagwawala ka pa, nandun ka na nakahiga. Yun ang hindi pwede. Diba? Smoking, normal lang din naman. Pero sa school, wag dapat nakikita ng mga bata. Okay? Or kung hindi, iwasan na lang. Diba? Yan. Mayroong isang mayroong isang tawag doon, analysis question doon sa isang exam. Si teacher, syempre, pumunta sa ibang lugar. Yung wala nakakakilala sa kanya kasi gusto niya mag-bar, gusto niya may night out, na nakipag-inuman, lasing na lasing, nagwawala siya doon. Unethical ba yun sa teacher? Siyempre, unethical yun. Kahit sabihin mo wala nakakakilala sa iyo, siyempre, meron ding tawag doon, makikita ka din, especially now in this generation na ang daming CCTV, ang daming camera, ang daming, diba? So, that's a part of healthy lifestyle. Yan, illicit relations, pakiki-appeal. Okay? Respectful relationship. So, ito yung minsan kasi itong example as gambling. When a teacher engages in gambling activities, especially kung it can lead to the financial stability or instability ng isang teacher and much more damage ang kanyang reputation. Kaya nagiging bawal. Okay? Pero kung laro lang naman, itong it's siguro minsan hindi naman yung parang pastime. Although talagang naka-indicate dito na bawal. Pag nakita ka lang, napicturan ka na si sir nakikipagsugal. Basta hindi naman naapektuhan yung financial instability, hindi madadamage yung reputation mo, let's say napangutang mo na nakipag-away ka dahil sa sugal. Okay? So I repeat, dito sa smoking, if the teacher is frequently, kaya sabi ko kanina dapat din nakikita, if the teacher is frequently seen smoking or drinking excessively, then as a teacher, you are setting a poor example for students and the community. Pag chichismisan ka, tapos sasabihin, naku, teacher pa naman siya, gagayahin siya ng mga estudyante niyan. Ibabalik sa inyo kasi ng mga estudyante. Pag sinabi mong, naku anak, mga bata nyo pa, bawal kayong minom. Ito, ganyan, bawal manigarilyo. Tapos nakita ka. Ba't ikaw, sir? Ba't ikaw, sir, nakita namin nakikipag-inuman sa kapitbahay namin? Diba? So, you are setting a poor example kasi for students. Same is true with this, much less illicit relations. If the teacher engages in illicit relationships, you are compromising the integrity and the trust, okay, by the community, placed in you as a teacher by the community. Okay? Tawag doon. Kasi minsan sabihin mo, bakit? Nagmahal lang naman ako. May puso din naman ako. May damdamin din naman ako magmahal. Hindi ko naman natuturuan ang puso. Pero syempre, if you check on the other side, nandun kasi din yung role mo as a teacher kasi, di ba? Hindi lang yung personal gain mo, isipin mo rin yung community as part of your role. Okay? Kasi nga, nakakompromise yung integrity mo. Okay? Integrity. And honor as a teacher. Okay? Ayan. Section 4. Every teacher shall live for and with the community and shall therefore study and understand local customs and traditions in order to have sympathetic attitude, therefore refraining from disparaging the community. So, in section 4, it discusses about us teachers living with the community. Kailangan tayo i-embrace natin kung anong meron sa community. So, kaya sabi dito, study and understand local customs. Kasi baka mamaya mai-destino ka sa ibang lugar na iba ang culture, custom and tradition nila. So, example here is cultural sensitivity. Maging sensitive ka sa kung anong meron sa community kung saan ka nag-work, kung saan ka nakatira din. Diba? So, the teacher takes the time to learn about and understand yung mga local customs, mga local traditions na meron sa community to show respect, to show appreciation for the community's cultural heritage. Kaya hindi yung ikaw ang nangunguna, nangungutya, pagtatawanan mo kung anong meron silang tradition. Okay? So, we need to show cultural sensitivity. What else? Yung community engagement na din. Diba? Huwag kang pa-importante sa community. Go and engage. Go and involve yourself. Okay? What else? Syempre, you should always show positive attitude. Okay? That we speak positively about the community. We speak positively about the members of the community para magkakaroon ng harmonious relationship. Okay? Harmonious relationship. Huwag yung ina-isolate mo yung sarili mo sa community. Like, nako, busy ako. Ang dami kong paperworks. Ayaw kong pumunta sa plaza. Huwag niyo akong tawagin sa mga activity na madamot si teacher pag gano'n. Okay? Na-isolate niya. In that case, hindi siya nagbe-build ng relationship sa community. Okay? Negative ang attitude Negative ang attitude ni teacher. What else? Kung halimbawa, ikaw na teacher, ikaw pa ang nangungunang nagko-complain sa community. Yan, negativity din yun. So, halimbawa, may isang teacher na frequently complains about the community, about the members of the community. In that case, you are creating a negative and yung nakikreate ka ng wall, yung divisive atmosphere. Okay? Anong gagawin mo pag gano'n? Ang daming mga sa barangay. Ikaw ang manguna. During meeting, you go and participate. Okay? Kung may mga problem ka, you should be an instrument sa paggawa ng solusyon. Hindi yung, Kap, gawa mo ng paraan ito. Kung hindi, ganito, ganyan. Di ba pwedeng maging malumanay, pag-usapan ng demokrasya, di ba? Kasi teacher tayo. Okay? Next, section 5. Every teacher shall help the school keep the people in the community informed about the school's work and accomplishment as well as its needs and problems. Anong ibig sabihin niyan? Tayong mga teachers, we should inform the community kung anong nangyayari sa school. Paano? By inviting parents. Kaya meron tayong family fun day. Meron tayong parent-teacher conference. Diba? Or kung may mga school newsletter tayo, we create and distribute. Pero now, mas accessible na through social media. Yung page ng school, ilagay mo lahat doon ng activities, announcement, anong meron. Okay? Anong project meron. Mag-create ng community forums. Pero pinaka-importante pa rin yung parent-teacher meeting. Okay? Ano ba yung parent-teacher meeting? Especially pag card day. Minsan kasi mga magulang naman, pag pinapatawag sa school, pakibigay na lang sa anak ko, ma'am, kasi ganito, busy ako, ganito, ganito. So, kailangan mong papuntahin face-to-face ang nanay. Kasi you need to discuss kung anong update sa student progress, kung anong progress meron ng anak niya. Kasi baka mamaya puro negative ang attitude, ang behavior ng anak niya. Kailangan mong i-discuss para magtulungan kayo. And aside from that, yung mga school initiatives din. Okay? Next, the teacher and the section 6 tayo, still on the teacher and the community. The teacher is intellectual leader in the community, especially in the barangay, and shall welcome the opportunity, pareho din, to such leadership when needed. Kaya sabi ko, wag kang pa-epal doon, wag mo ungusan si kapitan. Provide leadership naman. Provide leadership when needed. Kasi meron naman tayong barangay captain. Diba? To extend, yan naman to extend counseling services as appropriate, to actively be involved in matters affecting the welfare of the people. Okay? Mag-extend ka ng counseling services. Kung kailangan ng workshop, educational workshop sa barangay, mag-present ka, mag-organize ka, you lead the workshop. Okay? You share knowledge. What else? Community involvement. Lagi yung ina-emphasize. Section 7, every teacher shall maintain harmonious and pleasant personal and official relations with other professionals, with government officials, and with the people individually and collectively. So, in Section 7, it's all about harmonious relationships or harmonious relations sa lahat ng tao sa community. So, pwedeng professional collaboration, okay? Makipag-collab ka sa mga government officials, community members, and discuss about productive projects, meaningful projects para sa community. Okay? In terms also of conflict resolution, pag may kailangang i-resolve sa barangay, since nakwento ko naman sa inyo kanina na I was once a barangay captain, kasi at that time I was 21 years old. Na-experience ko pang marami nagsasampalan. Pag may mga issue na nagsampalan, nagsabunutan, nagchismisan, syempre kailangan mong isettle sa barangay. Minsan ang hirap din, i-resolve yung conflict resolution. So, sometimes I seek also advice from yung mga matatanda. Meron kami ding grievance committee, yung mga matatanda kasi sila ang mas experience. Diba? Sila ang mas experience. So, in this case, kung ikaw si teacher sa community, you should also address conflict calmly. Yung kalmado lang. Hindi yung ikaw din yung nakipagsigawan, nangunguna sa sampalan, sa sabunutan. Diba? So, kalmahan lang and respectfully dapat. We need to seek to resolve issues. So, para ma-maintain yung harmony within the community. Okay? So, isa yun sa role ni teacher. Aside from community engagement. Okay? 8. A teacher possesses freedom to attend church. Continuation ng kanina. To attend church and worship as appropriate, but shall not use his positions and influence to proselyte others. Parang sa political kanina, di ba? We have the freedom of worship. Ito si Section 8. Freedom to participate kung anong religious organization, anong religious belief ka mag-join. Okay? But we should not use our position to proselyte others. Okay? So, balik tayo doon sa respecting belief. A teacher should respect the diverse religious belief in the community. Kung meron nga sa amin, may isang barangay, 10 ang religion, magkakatabi yung mga simbahan doon. Diba? May Catholic, may Protestant, may Iglesia ni Cristo. Ang napaka ng barangay. Diba? May unity sila kahit ang daming religion. Okay? Because they are respecting diverse religious belief. So, ganun din sa classroom. The teacher respects the diverse religious belief of students in the classroom, not only in classroom, in the community din. Okay? In the community, para maging inclusive ang environment. Personal worship. We can attend, dito nga, may freedom, di ba? We can attend church and worship as appropriate without, ito, yung proselyting others, without imposing your belief on others. Okay? Hindi mo ini-impose. Hindi mo yung indoctrinate. Okay? So, in that case, we should encourage respect. Okay? That is Section 8, the freedom of worship. So, ibig sabihin nun, pag si teacher sa community, hindi rin dapat siya nagpapakita ng bias. The teacher should not show favoritism or bias towards people of the community or students who share their religious beliefs. Okay? Para hindi ma-compromise yung fairness. Okay? Next, section 4 na tayo. So, kanina, teacher and the community. Ngayon naman, paano naman si teacher sa profession? Profession of teaching. Okay? Section 1. Mga practical lang naman ito. Every teacher shall actively ensure that teaching is the noblest profession and shall manifest genuine enthusiasm and pride in teaching as noble calling. So, teaching as the noblest profession sa section 1. Okay? So, meaning, the teacher should demonstrate genuine enthusiasm, yung passionate dapat siya, passion for teaching, by engaging students with different interactive lessons. And dapat proud ka as a teacher. Okay? Dapat proud ka kasi noblest profession yan. So, professional pride. Teacher should speak positively about teaching profession. Hindi yung ang dami mong reklamo sa pagiging teacher. Di ba? Ikaw nangunguna sa pagreklamo. Instead, the teacher should speak positively about the teaching profession. Hina-highlight mo yung importance, yung nobility, okay, in conversations with your students, your parents, and the community. Okay? Hindi yung ikaw ang nangunguna na nagko-complain about the teaching profession. Kasi kinuha mo yan, yan ang ginusto mong profession, so you should embrace it. Okay? So, maging role model sa mga estudyante. Hindi yung araw-araw mong sinasabi yung iyong disappointment sa pag-teaching profession and so on. Okay? So, pag sinabing role model, we are exhibiting dedication. Dedicated tayo sa teaching profession. What else? Committed. Yung pride ka sa trabaho, yung very proud ka sa trabaho mo. In that case, you are inspiring your students. You are inspiring your students, motivating your students to value education. Okay? Kaya, ngayon parang, minsan pag nagtanong ka, let's say, siyempre sa mga grade 12 or grade 10, kung sinong gusto maging teacher, walang magtataas ng kamay. Kasi nakikita nila yung hirap mo sa pagtuturo. So, ibig sabihin, hindi naging inspiring yung pagbabalyo nila sa education. Okay? Kaya, minsan namimilit na lang tayo na, anak, mag-teacher ka kaya, magaling kang ganito, ganyan. Pero syempre, depende rin naman yan sa interest ng mga bata. Okay? So, in short, teaching as the noblest profession sa section 1, we should be passionate, we should be proud, we should be role model. Okay? Enthusiastic. Section 2. Every teacher shall uphold the highest possible standards quality of education. Related na rin ito sa iba kanina, di ba? Shall make the best preparation for the career of teaching and shall be at his best at all times in the practice of the profession. So, Section 2, still, it discusses about upholding quality education. Okay? Paano? Siyempre, bawal pumasok sa school na hindi prepared. Hindi prepared na bahala na si Batman. Pag mahahalata mo naman yung teacher na hindi prepared pag gano'n. Like, pagpasok niya, hindi niya alam ang ituturo. Okay, class, open your book on page. Copy this, copy that. Solve page 25 in the book, letter A to letter D. Di ba? Pag ganun walang hindi prepared teacher na magturo, kaya nagpapasit work na lang siya. So, thorough preparation. Okay, what else? Continuing or continuous improvement. Mag-attend ng mga seminars, workshop, related to sa Section 3 din. Okay? Sa Section 3 naman, it's all about continuing professional education naman. So, pag teacher ka na, dapat you participate in continuing professional education. Ibig sabihin, tuloy-tuloy pa ng pag-aaral. Di ba sabi natin, once a teacher, forever a student. Ibig sabihin, pag naging teacher ka, forever kang estudyante kasi matututo at matututo ka pa rin. Never, walang stop. Continuous ang pag-aaral natin, ang pagkatuto. Okay? So, yan. To improve your efficiency, enhancement of your competence, virtues, kailangan mo sumali sa mga professional development, kagaya ng mga seminars, workshop, advanced studies, mag-masteral kayo. Okay? Or attend ng mga specialized training, specialized certification, is to stay current with the educational trends and best practices. Diba? Kagaya na sinasabi ko, baka yung mga pinag-aaralan natin ngayon hindi na applicable pagdating ng araw. So, kailangan din nating mag-aral ng aral, matuto at matuto. Okay? So, aside from that, we should also share our knowledge then to others, especially sa mga fellow teachers natin. Okay? Teaching and the profession. And then we still have two sections, Section 4 and Section 5. Every teacher shall help if duly authorized to seek support from the school, but shall not make improper misrepresentation through personal advertisements and other questionable means. So, Section 4 discusses about seeking support and avoiding misrepresentation. When I say seeking support, yung mga authorized na fundraising, pwede naman yun. Si teacher, kung may proper authorization siya, he can organize fundraising activities to support school programs. Okay? School initiatives, mga school campaigns. Basta, we need to ensure transparency and accountability. Di ba sa Pilipinas, uso yung mga popularity contest, may mga kandidata. Kasi yung proceeds nun, let's say for example, kung balak nilang magpatayo ng 4 na CR, so magpapakandidata sila. Yan, paramihan ng pera. Pwede naman yung ganun. Basta with proper authorization. Okay? And, dapat of course, you need to ensure transparency and accountability. Baka isipin nila, binulsa na ni teacher yung iba, binulsa niya yung ibang pera. Kaya, yung 3 CR, yung 4 na CR, dapat 3 na lang yung naipatayo. Okay, what else? Inaccurate representation. Ito, misrepresentation. Okay? Dapat si teacher, maging accurate siya sa pag-represent ng kanyang qualification and achievements in professional setting para maano mo yung trust. Na-maintain mo yung trust, yung integrity ng profession mo. Okay? So, we should avoid any form of misrepresentation. Yung mga false claim na yan, like kung si teacher makes a false claim about their qualification or achievement just to gain professional advantage, naku, bawal yun. Okay? Meron kaming isang principal dati dito sa UAE. Pero hindi siya Filipino. nag-apply siya, ang dami niyang qualification, ang dami niyang natapos, ilang PhD, ilang ito. Yung pala, false claim pala yung iba kasi binilang namin lahat ng kanyang years of study. 10 years old pa lang, graduate na ng college. Kasi ang dami niyang graduate siya ng PhD. Siyempre, sabihin mo ng 3 years yon. Kumuha pa siya ng ganito, ilang PhD siya. So, ang haba ng dami. Mali pala yung iba doon. Okay? So, that is making false claim about their qualification. What else? Dito pa rin. Ito, personal advertisement. Yung questionable yung advertising mo, yung advertisement mo. Like, si teacher, if the teacher uses questionable means as in-exaggerate niya yung kanyang personal achievement para lang ma-promote yung pangalan niya, ma-promote yung program. In that case, makakompromise ang professional integrity mo. May nabasa ako last year, napanood ko din, doon ako nabasa nyo, may isang nag-guest speaker, tapos sinabi niyang siya ay summa cum laude sa UP Diliman, parang something like that. Hindi pala totoo na UP, siya, saka hindi pala siya summa cum laude. Etong school naman, siyempre, pag mag-invite ka ng alumni mo or any other resource person, kailangan mong mag-research. I-research mo naman yung tawag mong, siyempre, binigay na kasi yung kanyang qualification, yun na ang pinaniwalaan. Hindi naman na nila investigate kung tama ba, 'di ba? I-investigate mo kasi baka mamaya mali yung doon, may questionable claim siya doon. Okay? So avoid misrepresentation. Section 5, a teacher shall use the teaching profession in a manner that makes it dignified means for earning a decent living. Okay? So sa section 5, it's all about dignified means of earning a living. Ano ang dignified means? Dapat fair compensation ka. Okay? Tawag doon, siyempre, pag ganyan kasi, na lalabas pa rin yan yung ethical conduct mo. Okay? Ethical conduct. Hindi yung kumikita ka sa panluloko, di ba? So, dapat dignified means of earning a decent living naman yan. Or gagamitin mo yung sa pamumuhay mo, okay, in a dignified way. Okay, so, pwede mo ring i-maintain a high level of professionalism in all your interaction, ensuring that your work is respected and valued. Yun yung dignified means for earning a living. Okay? Dapat si teacher din, ina-advocate niya ang fair compensation. What else? Yung dapat nabibase yan sa merit or yung working condition for the teachers or the co-teachers or your colleagues. In that case, you are promoting the dignity of the profession. Hindi yung meron kang pinapaburan din. Mas mataas ang sahod ni ganito, ganyan, ganito. Diba? So, dapat fair. Okay? Kasi pag ganun, ang nangyayari, you are exploiting. Okay? You are exploiting your position for your personal, for your own personal gain. Okay? Like, ano pa bang example? You are charging your students extra for tutorial, ganon. That's exploitation din. Okay? Like, halimbawa, si teacher din behaves unprofessionally kung gagamitin niya ang profession niya to solicit personal favors. Okay? Pag nagsusolicit ka for personal favors, then you are diminishing the respect and dignity of the teaching profession. That is what Section 5 is all about. Okay? Let's proceed. You ask questions. I always encourage you to ask questions. Article 5 na tayo. Kanina, the teacher and the profession. Ngayon naman, the teachers and the profession. So, it's collective. Okay? Teachers shall at all times be imbued with the spirit of professional loyalty, mutual confidence and faith in one another, self-sacrifice for the common good. When the best interest of the learner's school and profession is at stake in any controversy, teachers shall support one another. Meron kaya yan? Di ba, minsan din, kung may issue yung isa, naku, chismis dito, chismis doon, nawala yung, yung support ng bawat isa. So, in section 1, it discusses about professional loyalty and cooperation. We need to cooperate. We need to collaborate with our co-teachers. Okay? Kasi we need to build mutual confidence. Yung spirit of cooperation. Kagaya nung yung kung may controversy, when a controversy arises, for example, that affects the best interest of the school or the learners or the profession itself, dapat sila teacher, they support each other. They support their colleagues to find a resolution that benefits all of them. Hindi yung ilalaglag mo pa, papaimbestigahan mo pa. Pero kung mali naman talaga siya, may proper authority naman for that. Okay? May proper authority. May proper procedure in that case. Okay? Self-sacrifice. Ito, self-sacrifice for the common good. Dapat, if you are a teacher, you're always willing to sacrifice your personal time to assist your co-teachers, your colleagues, your friends in need. Like substitution, yan. Covering classes. Tulungan mo siya sa let's say, science department. Magtulungan kayo. Huwag yung pabibo ka, pa-smart. Ayaw mong tumulong, di ba? Ayaw mong mag-share. Kasi ang isipin natin ito is the common good. Okay? Section 2. A teacher is not entitled to claim credit or work not of his own. Basic naman to. Siyempre, papahiya mo ang sarili mo kung i-credit mo yung hindi mo naman trabaho, di ba? So, in this case, you need to acknowledge contributions. I-recognize mo kung siya kanino yun. Kung you give due credit to your colleagues or to your students for their contribution, for example, sa mga projects, sa mga ideas, or any recognition na naibigay sa school. Okay? Aside from that, original work. Dapat yung mga sinasubmit mo sa research, okay? Original work, your own, pero na properly cited dapat sa mga source, di ba? Or contributions, hindi yung kiniklaim mo na sa'yo lahat galing yun. Kaya sa research, di ba, basic yung lagi kang mag-reference. According to Habilio 2011, he mentioned that, ganon. Okay? Hindi mo i-acknowledge yung source or the reference. Okay? So, refrain from claiming others' work. Refrain from failing to cite sources. And, parang kanina, refrain from misrepresenting them. Okay? Misrepresenting. Yung pinapalandakan mo na sarili mong gawa yun, pero iba naman pala ang gumawa. Okay? Section 3. Before leaving your position, a teacher shall organize for whoever assumes the position such records and other data as are necessary to carry on the work. Hindi yung maglalaho ka na lang basta. Kung ayaw mo na, mag-resign ka, aalis ka na, di ba? Very rampant yan sa private school. Kaya minsan, pinapapirma ka, di ba? Meron kang, kung nag-enter ka ng June, dapat tapusin mong school year. Otherwise, ma-breach of contract ka, magbabayad ka, ganun. Just to protect din naman, kasi kawawa din naman yung mga estudyante kung bigla ka na lang nawala. Let's say may nakaaway mo ang principal, ayaw mo nang pumasok, mag-resign ka na. Tapos, no, you should also turn over. Organize turnover. Kasi mahirap din sa magte-take over ng position mo kung nangangapa siya, di ba? So kailangan mo i-organize yung pag-hand over mo ng documents, saan ka na ba nag-end, hindi yung class, may I see your notebook, saan kayo nag-last, ano ang last tinuro niyo ganito? Tapos hindi mo pa ibibigay yung mga grades na lahat ng activities. So kawawa yung papalit. Okay? You should give detailed documentation. Dapat piniprepare mo yung detailed na lesson plan, yung progress report ng mga estudyante, projects, and so on. Para smooth ang magiging transition. Hindi ka pinasahod, so ayaw mo nang pumasok. So, paano naman yung mga bata? Inisip mo na lang yung sarili mong kapakanan, di ba? Wala nang magtuturo sa kanila, hindi nila alam kung saan sila, kung magbabago na naman. May mga ganong case naman na pabago-bago ang teacher. Nakaka-apekto sa mga estudyante rin yun. Especially dito sa UAE, syempre hindi mo naman, dati kasi, pwede pang i-hire ang mga visa, di ba? As teachers. So, si teacher, pag naubos yung visa niya at nakahanap ng, hindi pa siya nabisahan ng school, nakahanap ng panibagong trabaho, lipat ka agad. So, pwede naman yun, pero mag-turnover ka ng maayos. Then, may bagong teacher na naman. Tapos, hindi na naman niya nagustuhan, lumipat din siya. So, ang nagsasacrifice yung mga estudyante. Kawawa naman sila, pa iba-iba ang teacher. Okay? Section 4. A teacher shall hold inviolate all confidential information concerning associates and the school, and shall not divulge to any documents which has not been officially released or remove records from files without permission. Okay? So, in Section 4, it deals with confidentiality. Confidentiality. Kung confidential naman yun, huwag mong ipagkalat. Diba? Just to protect privacy. Diba? Si teacher, she or he should hold all confidential information. Kahit regarding your teachers, regarding your administrators. Okay? To ensure privacy and trust. Okay? What else? Secure records. Dapat nakasecure yung mga records mo, hindi yung biglang sir, na-erase lahat ng laman ng computer ko, ganito. So, wala ka ng record. So, dapat nakasecure din, and sometimes dapat ikaw lang nakaka-access din. Okay? What else? Ethical communication. Yung nagchichismisan. The teacher refrains from discussing confidential information inappropriately. And what else? Respecting the privacy of colleagues and students. Yung nalaman mo lang na si ganito may ka-moment. Chinismis mo na. O si ganito nakikiapin. Si ganito meron silang relationship. That's gossiping. Diba? Gossiping. So if the teacher engages in gossip about confidential matters, you are damaging professional relationship and trust. Okay? You are violating the code of ethics. Ano pa? Meron pa ditong about remove. Ayan, remove records. Hindi rin pwede yun. Okay? Na walang permission. Next, Section 5, it shall be the responsibility of every teacher to seek correctives for what may appear to be an unprofessional and unethical conduct to any associate. However, this may be done if there is incontrovertible evidence for such conduct. Meaning, pwedeng i-address naman ang mga unprofessional conduct. Meron naman yung proper procedure, proper process, proper authorities. Okay? Like if you want to seek correctives, for example, na may nakaaway ka, may nakita kang unprofessional or unethical conduct ng isang teacher, okay? Kung meron kang evidence, you need to ensure that there is a incontrovertible evidence bago ka maglabas ng chika-chika before taking action. Diba? Bago ka mag-chismis, you need to make sure na meron kang hawak na ebidensya. Pero hindi pa rin tama yun. Yung chichika mo kaagad. Sabi ko nga, meron namang proper process. Okay? Ano yung mga yon? Dapat professional dialogue. Okay? To address kung anong merong unprofessional conduct or unprofessional behavior. Nasusolve yan sa tawag doon, demokrasya. Diba? Kasi in that case, you need to promote kasi culture of accountability. Okay? So, yun, yung process na sinasabi ko, that is ethical reporting, huwag mong ipagkalat kaagad kung meron kang nalalaman. Okay? Kailangan mong isumpong sa appropriate channel. Okay? Para naman the process is fair and just. Hindi yung sinisbis mo sa katabi mo, sinisbis mo sa tapos mali pala yung allegation mo. So, dapat meron ding proper channel. Kung meron kang evidence, then you go to the principal. Okay? Kung ayaw kang pakinggan ni principal, go to the division office. Ganon. Okay? So, we should restrict ourselves as teachers from baseless accusations, yung public shaming. Public shaming of colleagues, di ba? Especially ngayon, yung mga pasaring, may patama ka sa, tawag doon, yung mga blind items, kung ano-anong pinag-ano mo sa My Day or sa story mo or sa Facebook. Di ba? So, pag ganito kasi, pag may misconduct, you need to address the issue through proper channel. Okay? Siguraduhin mo lang na malinis ka din, baka mamaya ikaw din yung babalikan ng babalikan ng chismis. Okay? Ayan, tapos na. Next, section 6. A teacher may submit to proper authorities any justifiable criticism against an associate, preferably in writing, without violating the right of the individual concerned. So, ito yung justifiable criticism. Okay? Kung meron kang constructive feedback sa isang teacher, okay, or sa isang colleague, you can do it in a constructive and respectable manner. So, preferably in writing. Para lang, syempre, kung gusto mong tulungan yung isang teacher, ayan, gawin mo into writing and then submit that to proper authorities. Okay? Proper channels. Submit yung kung anong criticism meron ka, kung anong issue ka, anong problem mo to proper authorities. Para it means you are showing respect. You are respecting the rights of the individual concerned. Hindi yung ina-atake mo na siya kaagad because that means nawawalan yung professional integrity. Okay? Section 7, public criticism pala yun. Yung pinikriticize mo siya in public. So, pwede rin siyang personal attack. Diba? Baka ikaw pa ang masisira pag gano'n. Section 7. A teacher may apply for a vacant position for which he is qualified, provided that he respects the system of selection on the basis of merit and competence. Sa atin, rampant pa din kasi yung may mga padrino system, yung para lang mauna ka sa item, mag-donate ka muna ng ganito, magbigay ka ng baboy, baka, kumuha ka ng recommendation ni mayor, gobernador, di ba? Wag naman. You apply on the basis of merit and competence. Kung talagang ikaw yung deserving, ikaw yung makukuha. Hindi, ibig sabihin yan, hindi dahil kaibigan mo si principal, ninong mo si principal, ninong mo si mayor, magpaparecommend ka na para lang makapasok ka kaagad sa isang vacant position. Kahit di ka naman qualified ka, pero may mas qualified pa. Kaya nga may ranking sa Philippines, di ba? Ibig sabihin, sa division, kung rank 1 to 50 at number 50 ka, hintayin mo munang makapasok yung rank 1 to 49. Di ba? Hindi yung magpaparekomenda ka na kay mayor, bibigyan mo na ng ganito sa ganito. Nakita mo na, nakapasok na, may item na yung number 50, ikaw na number 20, wala ka pang wala ka pang item, wala ka pang trabaho. Kawawa ka naman. I experienced that when kaya never ako nagturo sa public school. Hindi ko naman inaano ang public school, pero yung kasing mga ranking na yan, nasa top 5 naman ako ng ranking, pero may nauna sa aking nakapasok. Nalaman ko, yung number 11, na-hire na siya kaagad. May item na siya kaagad. Dahil kasi anak siya ng principal sa kabilang school. Kami kasi na ibang nasa top 5, yung iba sa amin doon, mga opposition, yung hindi namin kasama yung administration. Kaya nung pinapakuha kami ng recommendation sa mayor, hindi ako makakuha kasi hindi ko siya kasama. So hindi ako kaya hindi na ako nagturo sa public, nagturo na ako sa private school. Mga ganong experiences. So, applying for vacant positions based on merit or competence dapat. There should be, you should respect merit, and then there should be fair competition dapat. Okay? Hindi yung magpapa-recommenda ka sa ganito, ganyan, kahit unqualified ka na. Okay? So, that's Article 5, the teacher and the profession. Okay? Next, Article 6, the teacher and the higher authorities in that profession. Ibig sabihin, yung mas mataas sa'yo. So, every teacher shall make it duty to make an honest effort to understand and support the legitimate policies of the school and administration regardless of personal feeling or private opinion, and shall faithfully carry them out. Ibig sabihin, understanding and supporting school policies. Okay? Kailangan mo ring kahit may may sinanakit ka kay principal, you need to understand and support pa rin school policies. Okay? Policy adherence. So, si teacher, he or she should make an honest effort to understand these policies of the school and support them by implementing them consistently in the classroom. Okay? Siyempre, what else? Si teacher then has the right to provide constructive feedback to the administration about policies. Kung kailangan mong mag-suggest for improvement, pwede. Okay? But of course, it should be in support to the current guidelines. Kaya nga, di ba, ngayon, dapat ang meeting, hindi na lang meeting ng mga heads, meeting na, dapat kasama na rin ang mga teachers. Kasi syempre, mas maraming suggestions, mas maganda, mas makakasolve. Okay? A teacher shall not make any false accusation or charge against superiors, especially under anonymity, o di ba? However, if there are valid charges, then you should present such under oath to competent authority. So this is false accusation against superiors, yung head mo, mas mataas sa'yo. May right ka naman, especially kung valid naman yung charges mo. Pero hindi ka pwedeng accuse falsely kung, let's say, di ba meron kasing mga suggestion box sa school. So, gagawa ka na doon ng si ganito, ang daming ginagawa, tapos anonymous. puro screen name. Hindi pwede yung ganun. Okay? Na mag-charge ka against your superiors under anonymity. Okay? So, if you have valid concerns, then you need to report. Kung may mga charges against your superior, then report that through proper channel. But make sure that you are under oath, na ang sasabihin mo ay yung truth and nothing but the truth. Okay? Para to ensure fair and just process. Okay? So, kung valid naman yung charge mo, kung fact-based naman yung concern mo, pwede naman, you can present them transparently to proper authority. Okay? I repeat, bawal ang anonymous accusation, mga baseless charges, what else, mga malicious intent. Okay? The teacher and higher authorities in the profession. So, tapusin lang natin ang Article 6, then continue natin ang Article 7 tomorrow. Okay. Section 3 na tayo. A teacher shall transact all official business through channels, except when special conditions warrant a different procedure, such as when special conditions are advocated but are opposed by immediate superiors, in which case teacher shall appeal directly to the appropriate higher authority. Ito yung mga transacting official business. So, dapat you need to follow channel. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, any teacher shall transact all official business through appropriate channels. Kasi, you have to make sure na the procedures are followed correctly. Okay? However, kung may special condition that warrant a different procedure naman, the teacher can appeal directly to higher authorities. Okay? In a respectful and professional manner. Especially halimbawa kung gusto mo mag-bypass ng channel, hindi mo na-report kay principal kasi alam mong kaaway mo din si principal. Alam mong hindi ka papanigan, di ba? Pwede naman ng special appeal, okay, to higher authorities in a respectful and professional manner. Okay? But make sure that you are not ignoring procedures. Nasa proper proper procedure. Okay? Huwag lang maging unprofessional or disrespectful yung appeal mo to higher authorities. Section 4, every teacher, individually or as part of the group, has the right to seek redress against injustice to the administration, and to extent possible shall raise grievances within the acceptable democratic processes. O, parang pareho din. This is about seeking redress nga lang. Okay? Seeking redress against injustice. If you feel that may injustice na nangyayari, like unfair grievances or disruptive actions, na nawawala na ang democratic process, you have the right, okay? The teacher has the right to seek redress against perceived injustices through acceptable democratic process pa din. Okay? Para ma-erase mo lang yung issue or concern fairly and respectfully. Okay? Group advocacy. The teacher, individual, sabi dito, or as part of the group, syempre, we need to advocate for fair treatment. We need to advocate for justice. Okay? Kasi, pag ganun, we are maintaining professionalism and respect for the administration. Hindi dapat nagkakaaway yung administration tsaka mga teachers. Diba? There are some schools na meron silang grievance committee. Merong union, kumbaga. Have you heard about that? Yung may union, kung nababiolate yung mga rights ng teachers, yan, papasok si union. So, dapat, meron tawag doon ay grievance committee. Kung deserve ng mga teacher ng raise or yung increment, ano yan ng grievance committee. Basta, pag nakita nilang may injustice, okay rin yung ganun kasi, di ba, na may nagbabalance sa school. Like, for example, 10 years na wala pang increase ang mga teachers, pero kumikita naman ang school, mga ganun. Okay? So, basta, democratic process dapat. Okay? So, we have the right to seek redress against injustice. Section 5, every teacher has the right to invoke the principle that appointments, promotion, and transfer of teachers are made only on the basis of merit and needed in the interest of service. O ito yung mga merit-based appointments and promotion. Minsan nagkakaroon ng issue ang mga promotion dahil si ganito, ganyan, kakilala si ganito, close sila ng ganito, ganyan. Diba? So, there should be fair competition. Okay? What else? Merit advocacy. Kaya yung mga appointments, mga promotion na yan, dapat galing yan sa merit. Kaya nga meron tayong grades din every year. Sinosurvey rin yung may mga tawag doon, mga estudyante, mga co-teacher mo, ino-observe, sinosurvey yan, ino-observe ka ng principal para doon lahat ang basis ng grado mo din. Para, yun ang basis nila for promotion. For transfer din. Minsan may mga nagpapatransfer like nasa Quezon City pero taga Ilocos siya. So, pwede siyang makipag-arrange na gusto niyang lumipat sa Ilocos. Kailangan niyang makipag-arrange doon kung sino rin gusto lumipat sa Quezon City na teacher na nasa Ilocos. So, pwede rin namang i-arrange yung ganon. Okay? So, we still have Article 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah. Hanggang 11. Kasi yung 12 na is disciplinary action na. Kung may na-violate ka, ano ang action? Ano ang disciplinary action? Okay? So, we will continue that tomorrow. Then, after that, we will start with PPST, yung Philippine Professional Standard for Teachers.
Thank you so much for watching. Before leaving, please do click the like, subscribe and get notified button.